a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
A half-blood of the eldest gods shall listen to this bonus show against all odds.
I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Ray from Cabin 12. And we are here to podcast for you.
That was great. I love that.
Yeah? That seemed good to you?
It did. Bro, we are making this bonus episode for the month where everyone is sad if they do not have a partner.
Oh god.
And that's why we're doing Cupid and Psyche, because it's the love story. You gotta do the love story for the Valentine's Day ep.
Not that
with
there
literal
are
love.
a lot of love stories, but yeah, love is there.
Literal,
you know,
love the god.
the
But
person.
both of them, actually. We have
Yeah,
two
right?
love gods. Him and his mom.
And also, spoilers, but this one has a happy ending, which is rather unusual.
Bro. So, did you get the vibes of both Cinderella and Beauty and the Beast, or no?
Literally, yes. Absolutely, I was totally gonna say that.
Good.
Okay, also, I think we already said it was Cupid and Psyche, but maybe we didn't. Yeah. Anyways, we're doing Cupid and Psyche, guys. We read translation of the Lucius Apuleius.
Apuleius, I'm gonna say.
Apuleius.
That's
Anyways.
how I'm gonna say that. Oh
Anyways, that version.
But who?
We'll probably post
translated
a
it?
link to the version that we read.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's the guy who translated this?
It says source Thomas Bulfinch
Bulfinch, yeah.
from The Age of Fable or Stories of Gods and Heroes, 3rd edition.
Alrighty. Yeah, I literally just Googled one, and I'm like, I like this one. It's got the full story, and it looks good. It's not
And
too
it's
long.
short, which is good for me.
What? Reading things with ADHD? Is that a problem? No, not at all. Yeah, so what are your thoughts and feelings about Cupid and Psyche?
Okay.
Is it a good love story?
So, beyond the Beauty and the Beast and the Cinderella, vibes and connections, also, Psyche's a Mary Sue.
She
like,
is.
literally.
She's the original Disney princess who gets, like animals and shit to help her. Like, everyone who meets her wants to help her.
Like, no, she literally does, absolutely nothing. Like, something happens, and she's like, I'm just gonna sit here, because I can't do it. I'm too shocked. And then things just, work out for her.
Oh my god.
Because everyone loves her so much because she's so pretty. And all the, girls are jealous of her. And then bad things happen to them because they're jealous.
Bro.
This is a wish fulfillment,
It is. It really is. Bro, just the way you described, a Mary Sue just reminded me of one of the kids in my class. I'm just like, oh, our 3-year-olds who just I can't do it. Are they Mary Sues? Is that it? Are 3-year-olds Mary Sues?
Nah, that happens to the best of us.
But you want to help them
Mary
because they're so
Sue-
cute and adorable.
I mean, I guess. I use the overly sarcastic productions definition of Mary Sue, which is that it is based around how the narrative reacts to the character.
This is true.
And how it is all centered around them.
Hey, Ray, did you know about that the Cupid and Psyche video was the video that really got their channel big?
I didn't know that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Good for them.
So Cupid and Psyche. Okay, so one thing, this is Roman names.
Yes, in the translation that we have.
So we got Venus, Cupid. Apollo is the same, because he's fucking Apollo, and his name does not change. We have Juno instead of Hera. I thought it was interesting that they said Pallas instead of Minerva.
Yeah.
Which,
yeah,
it does happen sometimes. They do that.
We just talked about that, not that many episodes ago. I mean, it's longer now that you guys are listening to this, but, when Athena came up and we did a myth section on her, you were like, sometimes people just call her Pallas. And I was like, wow, I've never heard that. Now I've heard that.
Now you have. I'm confused on why they chose to say Zephyr, because that's his Greek name. His Roman name is Favonius. So that's just something interesting to me. But I personally love the name Zephyr. Just thinking.
Yeah, Zephyr is cool. It's got a Z.
Not a lot of names have Z's, okay? It's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds right. Yeah, I feel like we like to, like, separate out the Greek and Roman stuff. I feel like there's a lot more, like, cultural crossover and people, like, doing whatever that we like to even acknowledge.
Well, this still takes place very much in Greece. Like, they talk about the Pythian oracle. Like, it's in Greece. The Pythia is the Oracle of Delphi. So that's very interesting to me. So yeah, do you want to do like a little rundown of the story, or?
Oh, I can try. I can do my best.
I mean, it's Beauty
I'm
and the
not
Beast.
prepared. I didn't take notes. I should have thought of that.
It's Beauty and the Beast, but the Beast is actually the god of love.
It's Beauty and the Beast, and then a lot of other shit happens.
There's like a sequel and a prequel.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a king and queen, and they have 3 daughters. The other 2 are playing the ugly stepsisters, but they're not ugly. They're very pretty. It's just that their youngest sister is the most pretty. She's so pretty that everyone loves her, and they're, like, basically worshipping her, and Venus is like, this is my thing? You're stealing my thing. And she's real mad. So she tells her son, Cupid, to go and fuck with her.
Not fuck her, just fuck with her. Like, make
fuck
people
with her. And then he's like
her
fuck her, got it.
Basically. He fucking stabs himself with one of his own arrows.
Yeah, it was a mistake. So this part I don't really understand that well. He has 2 amber vases, one from a fountain of sweet waters and one of bitter.
I didn't know about that until reading this translation, but I guess one of them, it just means that that's gonna make her not loved by the people. Like, right. He puts that on her lips, and then the people just don't care anymore about her. Well,
it's not even... They still sing her praises, but no one asks her for her hand in marriage. So, he puts a little bit of the bitter stuff on her lips, and then he stabs himself a little bit, and that makes him fall in love, because they don't even explain that. You're just supposed to know that through context, like, cultural context, which, like, I mean, we do, but... But I think that that's interesting also.
Yeah.
He stabs himself a little bit, and then he's in love with her, and then he wants to help her out. And he pours the sweet water in her hair, and I don't know if that does anything either. Anyways, maybe the bitter was supposed to make everyone hate her, but the 2 things, like, counteract each other. Anyways, maybe. No one will marry her, and she's really sad. And then her parents go to the oracle because they are afraid that the gods are angry because no one will marry her. And the oracle says, I'm just going to read this. The virgin is destined for the bride of no mortal lover. Her future husband awaits her on the top of the mountain. He is a monster whom neither gods nor men can resist. Which I think is very interesting. I
really like the translation on that, because I didn't know, like, the exact wording. I knew it's like, oh yeah, he's a monster, and, like, gods and men fear him and all that. But I like they can't resist him.
Right. So I'm wondering if that's, like, vague in the original text of, like...
It could be.
Because you could argue that, like, can't resist means will be defeated by him, but it actually means that he's so fucking pretty.
Well, I was gonna say, like, it's because he's the god of love, and he can literally jerk around every single god. Like, he's the reason why Zeus does what he does. Like, think about it in that context. Even the gods can't resist whatever the fuck Cupid wants them to do. So I would really like to know, like, more about what the implications in the original language are. But yeah, it is very interesting. Yeah, and it's also interesting to note that, like, Cupid or Eros, this Greek version, has 2 different options for his parentage, which is either Aphrodite, like it is in this, or he just springs up from, like, legit chaos. He's one of the first gods to ever have existed. So, just like Aphrodite has 2 separate options for parentage. There's There's the more, like, ethereal, creepy version, or there's the, like, oh, just, like, they're related. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
she has, like,
makes
parents
sense.
instead of coming from genital sea foam.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the parallels there are very interesting, you're right. So, yeah, her parents are really upset about this, but she's like, nah, I know what I did wrong, because people called me Venus, and I see that that's bad. I'm resigned to my unhappy fate. And she climbs the mountain, and she's like, oh no, I'll be married to, like, some horrible beast, and it's all gonna be terrible, or maybe I'll die, or whatever. And then she is whisked up from the mountain by the wind, and she ends up in this, like, beautiful palace, and it spends like a couple paragraphs in this rather short story describing how, like, invisible servants are taking care of her every whim and everything's beautiful, and which, like, that really feels like wish fulfillment fanfiction to me. Like, in every, like, arranged marriage AU where somebody gets, like, married to, like, some noble lord or whatever.
There's a bunch of servants and shit that wait on them hand and foot.
Well, and they're always, like, spend, like, a while, like, talking about, like, how pretty the place is, and...
My goodness.
Anyways, I've been reading a couple of those recently, and I was like, this is literally...
Listen, this is a fanfic. We all know it. It's fine.
I just think it's so funny. Anyways, so one of the invisible servants tells her, okay, I know that I was supposed to be summarizing and I keep interrupting my own summary to just do our conversations, but are there actually invisible servants, or is he just, like, running around pretending to be a bunch of different people?
As far as I know, it is actually invisible servants. I haven't heard that otherwise. But, like, he is also invisible, spoiler alert, like, to her. He does not show his face to her or anything, so he could be a monster for all she knows.
Right. They established during the earlier scene that he could be invisible. But, when people were reading Dracula on Tumblr altogether,
oh my god.
There was this whole joke because Dracula doesn't have any servants, but everything's always, like, all neat and stuff. So he's just, like, when Jonathan's in his cool house, he's just, like, running around, like, making the beds and stuff with his vampire super speed.
I mean, yeah, he can be super speed, he can be, like, invisible, he can be the wind, he can do whatever the fuck. That's definitely what's happening for Dracula. Cupid? Maybe. Maybe this is also just a Dracula story. Dracula is actually a retelling of Cupid and Psyche, didn't you know? Jonathan X Dracula forever.
God. Alright. So she's in this very nice place with all these servants taking care of her, and her husband comes and sees her, but only at night. And they love each other very much, but she wants to see what he looks like, and he's like, excuse me, you doubt my love? Which I think is sus of him. I don't believe in the moral of this story, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's not great. But then her shitty sisters come.
Yeah. So she's pleased with her life and her husband for a little while, and then she gets sad because she's like, oh, my parents and my sisters think that I'm, like, suffering or dead. I would like to go see them. And her husband is not super happy about that, which, again, red flag. But he eventually agrees. And she goes down to find her sisters, and she asks them to come with her back to her house. And she takes care of them for a little while with all of her cool servants and their nice baths and food and stuff. And her sisters are super duper jealous.
Yep. They suck.
And they keep needling her about her husband, and she eventually tells them that she's never actually seen what he looks like. And they are like, don't you remember what the Oracle said? It's a monster. It's probably a big snake that wants to eat you after you're all fattened up.
Okay. That's giving me the anime vibes of, like, the giant, like, snake people, like the sexy snake people that you get on pillows. You know the vibe. They're usually women, but like Cupid as sexy snake man. That's the vibe here, actually.
Yeah, that's fine. That'd be good. What if he was a snake, but, like, a hot snake? So her sisters tell her that she should wait until her husband is asleep and then bring a lamp and a knife. And if he really is a horrible monster, she should cut off his head. And she's like,
Jesus.
okay, fine.
Yeah, okay, sure. And it doesn't go well at all because
It does not.
because she drops one little bit of oil on him and he wakes up. He's like, how dare you? How dare you try to see me and try to kill me? What?
It hurts his fifis.
Yeah, and also she, like, injured him with some freaking candle oil.
Right. When she sees him, she's like, oh, it's not a monster. It's the most beautiful man ever created. He's literally the most wonderful of the gods. And yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's like, fine. I'll leave me forever then if you didn't trust me enough to accept my love with all of my conditions. Then, honestly, I'm just, the red flags are off the charts. Okay.
Yeah. And then she's just, like, back on the hill or something with her sisters, and they try to get with him instead because she was rejected, and they die. They just fall off the cliff.
Right.
Love it.
Yeah, they climb to the top of the mountain, and then they jump for the wind to catch them, and then they're just, like, scattered on the rocks. Which, like, again, female revenge fantasy. All other girls hate me because I'm so pretty, and my, everyone loves me.
I mean, this just gives me, like, the vibes of, like, original Cinderella. Oh, like, they cut off their feet to try to get with the man. They're
and
just
then
like,
birds pick out their eyes. Just, like,
Yeah.
unnecessary violence.
Unnecessary violence. Just jumps off a cliff to be with a godly man who does not want you. And then there's the rest of it, which is, like, a full-on quest.
Right, we're only halfway through. So, she wants her husband back, and she sees a magnificent temple on a mountain, and she's like, maybe that's the right mountain, I'm gonna go climb that. So she does that, and she finds, scattered, grain and, harvest implements, and, she's like, okay, this is clearly a god's domain, and it's all, like, messed up, and I want to be in the favor of the gods in the hopes that this whole thing will work out for me. And so she, sorts out all that stuff, and the holy Ceres? Who is that?
That's Demeter. Ceres.
Okay, that
like
makes
cereal?
sense. Ceres.
Like
Oh,
wheat?
grain.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ceres is very pleased with this religious act, and she tells her to ask Venus for, forgiveness. She tells her to go be modest and submissive, and maybe, she will have her husband restored.
Don't love that
And
part.
she's like, you like subs?
I like doms, but
Oh, so you relate to this, is what you're saying.
Is Cupid a dom? I feel like Cupid's also a sub.
The rare and highly difficult sub for sub relationship.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the problem here. He fucking stabbed himself with the arrow when he saw her. That man is not a dom.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Psyche is like, that sounds like a terrible idea, but you're a goddess, so okay. So she goes and finds Venus, and Venus is like very, very angry. And she's like, my son is all fucked up over you. You are not a very good wife. And so she's like, I'm going to make housewifery trials. And she orders her to sort grains again, but this time there's lentils also.
There you go. There's the lentils, which is very Cinderella.
The lentils in the pot. Yes, exactly. And just like in Cinderella, she doesn't even do it. She's like, there's no way I can sort all these goddamn lentils. And then Cupid, where he's laid up in bed from his like heartbreak and wounds and whatnot, is like, okay, ants, can you go do this sorting for us? She's very pretty. And the ants of the field are like, yeah. And they sort all the grains and lentils. And Venus comes back and she's really mad because she's like, I know you didn't do it. I can tell. Come on. I'm gonna make you do some more shit. And And so the next task, she has to go fetch a sample of the fleece of the golden sheep across the river, which, haha, it's those sheep from that other book.
I told you. It was those ones. I definitely brought up that it was from Cupid and Psyche when they came around in Sea of Monsters, so
Yeah.
that's
really
like the
interesting.
only mention of them in myth, so I think.
Which, it's fun that Rick, used that. It's a really iconic part of that book. And, I don't know, it's fun that this is where it's from.
Yep. And of course, it's also
so-
3 tasks that happen here, because this is not the last one.
Of course. You've always got to have 3 tasks. Rule thirds, bruh.
Exactly. It's a fucking fairy tale. It's a fucking fairy tale, this.
So the spirit in the river, the river god or whatever, he tells her, hey, those sheep will eat you. You should be really careful. Wait until later today, and then they'll be, like, sleepy and the water won't flood and kill you. And she's like, okay, cool. And then Venus is mad again, and she's like, I know that somebody told you how to do this. It's obviously not you. So, we'll do another task. You're going to go and take this
You're gonna
box
go to
to
hell.
Proserpine. Yeah, go to hell. So Proserpine, Persephone.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if I'm saying that right, but
I do
she
not know how
asks
to
her to get
pronounce it.
some of the underworld goddess's beauty in a box and bring it back so that she can have it for the... She needs to paint herself with it to appear at the Circle of Gods and Goddesses this evening, which is so funny.
I
Go
just
get me some cool rouge
okay.
from the underworld.
I just want to cut you off there. Just talk about like some of the little things that are sprinkled in here that just like so Aphrodite and Persephone already have like some like ongoing rivalry. If you think about like the Adonis story, like they fought over a man before. And now Aphrodite wants to steal some of her beauty. I don't know. I'm just like I'm getting the whole like these people, these ones do not like each other. And then at the beginning of the story, she said that Athena and Hera, I'm using the Greek names, that she hated them specifically. And remember, these 3 are the ones that started the Trojan War. So I'm connecting the dots here, and I'm like, okay, so these are the cliques. These are the ones that don't like each other. Out of the gods.
And Aphrodite's petty as shit. Like, she's always
She
starting
is.
beef.
Like, just Aphrodite has like one of the most interesting personalities of the gods, I think, where she can both be like this like mothering figure to Cupid or Eros, and then she's also like really about her ships. Like she will help you if she likes you, but she will, if you're an OTP, she's not into it. She'll fuck you
Love
over.
is fickle.
Exactly, Anyway, continue.
So Psyche, like, gives up. She's like, she wants me to go to hell. Fine, I'll do it. And then she, like, goes, to a cliff.
Yeah.
And she's like, if I gotta go down there, then I might, thus to descend the shortest way to the shades below. That is a good line. Like, the implication of suicide without actually having to say it. It's well written.
From what I heard about this story before, I thought there was going to be more of her trying to commit suicide constantly because she was so sad. That's what I heard that she tried to do, but I don't know if this is a like exact translation or a little bit watered down.
One of the notes at the bottom says that in this version by Apuleius, it's a little bit different from the original one in that, one, in the original story, Psyche is pregnant the whole time while she's trying to get her husband back. And 2, that Venus is, like, way meaner. And so it wouldn't surprise me if she's, like, trying to commit suicide all the time in the other version.
Yeah. So it's watered down a little bit. That's fine. But like I said, I do like this translation. It does feel kind of more fairy tale like than like the story could be. So
okay, so she's at the top of a tower, and a voice in the tower tells her how to go safely through the underworld and come back. And I have just realized that I have no fucking idea who that is. So that's interesting.
Wait, you don't know who is?
she has decided to jump off this tower, and a voice from the tower said to her, "Why, poor unlucky girl, do you deign to put an end to your days in so dreadful a manner?" And then the voice tells her how by a certain cave she might reach the realms of Pluto. No, it only ever says a voice. It does not say who this is. The person who tells her how to go to the underworld.
Oh, God. Wait, what? Who is this person?
Who is this? It's Zagreus. He's like, Zagreus loves reuniting people.
I mean, okay. Theory for Hades too. It's actually Cupid and Psyche that he has to reunite next time. Tell me that's gonna happen. I need it, actually. Okay, here's my theory. Who likes to be an invisible man in this story already?
Right, so it could just be her husband trying to help her out again.
But
then why wouldn't it just say that? Because it said that during the first one, so like, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just assuming because Venus is basically holding him hostage right now. Mm-hmm. So I want to say that it's him, but who knows?
Yeah, fascinating. Anyways, yeah, so mysterious voice, I guess, could be anybody, but we have our theories. Tells her how to get down and back, and also tells her that when she has the box filled with beauty, don't open it. You know, in the good old Pandora way, a box is meant to be closed.
Yeah.
So she succeeds, and there's a lot of, like, underworld details, like how to get past Cerberus, and, like, don't eat stuff while you're there, and she gets all that done. And then she's coming back, and she's like, well, I want to be pretty when I see my husband, and I went and got this, so why can't I have a little bit? So...
Yeah.
Anyways, people always... You can't get out of the underworld without fucking it up. You gotta look back, or if you have a box, you gotta open it. People are too curious. And her husband even points out, like, your curiosity has messed you up twice.
Yeah. Yeah, she's dumb. She's real dumb.
But he loves her anyways. So when she opens the box, it turns out that Persephone, or Persephone, super, like, we know that she does not like Venus.
Yep.
So she put an evil snake of endless sleep in the box. And yeah, Psyche is in endless sleep. But
so it's Sleeping Beauty.
Cupid... Yeah, her husband is good now, and he comes and gets her and wakes her up. And he goes to Jupiter, Zeus, and is like, hey, can you, like, help us out? I want to be with my wife, and my mom is really mad. And Zeus is like, I got you, boy. Because Zeus really likes to set up his male relatives. He's like...
Yeah.
I support this.
He also likes to set up his female relatives but in ways that they do not like.
No, yeah. He wants his boys to get the girl, as they say. And he's using his female relatives as commodities.
Yes. Zeus sucks.
Zeus is ultimate misogynist. So he brings Psyche up to the heavens and gives her ambrosia, and now she's immortal, and then they're married forever, and they have a daughter whose name is Pleasure. The end.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the whole, it's kind of Sleeping Beauty, from not only the fact there, but also, Sleeping Beauty has a second part to it that, not a lot of people know about, where you have to deal with the prince's, ogre mother.
Well.
Yeah. So she also has an evil mother-in-law. Just like Psyche.
Fighting with your mother-in-law is a tradition that goes back centuries. Millennia, even.
Seriously. So, my dude, did you know that this story is an allegory?
Oh, do tell more.
So Psyche represents the human soul. So when you pair the human soul with love, then you get pleasure.
Oh, I see. How nice. Psyche, like, okay, yeah, that's a word that people use. Your psyche, your inner self, your brain, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, her name means soul. She is the goddess of the soul, and a fun thing, she's often represented with butterfly wings. And, my dude, I mean, you know Hades. Who gives you a nice little butterfly when you befriend him?
It's Thanatos.
The god of death. It's because he delivers souls. and souls are represented by butterflies.
That's fun.
I like connecting all of these things. You know I do. So there's so much here. And yeah, I just like this story. It's very weird and fun. And Psyche goes through a lot of shit when she did literally nothing. She did nothing.
I mean, she does a couple of things. She climbs a mountain and she proves herself to Cereal.
Cereal, her name now.
I couldn't remember her name. But yeah, a lot of the time, like, you know, beyond the this is too hard, I'm just gonna die now. She is just like, I'm overwhelmed by all of this. I'm just gonna sit here in shock, stupefied. They use the word stupid in this, which I think is funny.
Good.
Like,
oh my goodness. She's just, she is like that woman that you see that just like goes and faints into the special chair. Just
the fainting couch, obviously.
Exactly. That's her. Yeah. It's really dumb, but like, I think it's a very interesting story. And
yeah.
so much weird shit happens. And
it's obviously classic, and I've known parts of it before, you know, from other, like, uses of it in things that I've read or whatever. But I think that this is the first time that I've read an actual version of just this story, like, traditional. And I like to recontextualize ancient things into their, like, modern equivalents.
Yeah.
And so just, yeah, thinking about how it is just, like, a Mary Sue story, how she's just perfect and everybody wants to help her because they love her so much. It's delightful.
Yeah. Does it say that, I can't remember here. Did she get stabbed by the arrow too?
No, not in this version.
Okay.
The arrow was against her side, but that's what woke her up, and that's how he stabbed himself accidentally.
Okay, because I know that sometimes she also gets stabbed by the arrow at some point, and, you know, it's just, you know, they just keep getting stabbed and falling more in love with each other. Yeah, it's great. It's a fun time. And this is, like, the only time this character ever appears. Psyche is, like, not in any other myths or anything. It's just this one story.
You'd think somebody would reuse her at some point, since she is immortal now, but whatever.
You'd think, but I guess not. And yeah, I mean, she's written down by a Roman author, so I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that statement. Yeah, but also just the fact that their child, Hedone, the goddess of pleasure, the goddess of physical joy.
Ah, that kind of pleasure. I was wondering.
Yeah, it does in fact say it. Yep. Yeah. Well, do you have any other thoughts and feelings about this story?
Not really. Rather than doing a summary and then talking about it, we kind of just talked about it. So, like,
because you went
I'm
in
good.
depth with the summary.
I didn't mean to. I was trying to do, like, a summary, but if I don't have notes, then it's just, you know, our close reading again.
Yeah. It was very good. You did a good job. Well,
why, thank you. I did my best.
Well, my dude, I'm gonna go stab myself with one of Cupid's arrows and fall in love with somebody. So, bye.
I was gonna say bad idea, but honestly, at this point, might as well.
You know what?
That sounds nice.
I'll fall in love with someone, they'll fall in love with me, it'll be great. Great.
It's February. I'm lonely. It's my birthday month.
No!
God, imagine being in love. It couldn't be me.
Dave X Media.